What up? What up? What up? Black Comic
Hey.
Lords is back in the building again, and of course it's Wednesday night, and we hanging out with my man's 100 grand, Mr. Brandon Thomas. He happens to be the writer of the most incredible black superhero there is, according to me, anyway. Yeah, how you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing great. I was glad to see you on our season finale.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, for all my peeps that are out here, shout out to the Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever fam, and all of y'all watching around the world. If you want to just get some housekeeping out the way, please like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a hater. We do not care. But what we do care about is Blacklightning, wrapping up with issue number 5. Before we get to that, my man Paul, he's on his way in or whatever. He's out there dodging alligators and traffic in Orlando. You know how they go in Central Florida. So, yeah. But let me just ask you, since we're wrapping this series up, I wanted to just get your initial thoughts of the whole shebang, the whole enchilada. We got the whole story. Did you leave it out, all of it out on the field?
Always a difficult question. I think I'm very proud of what we did in these 5 issues. I think we made it clear that there is more story to tell. There's a lot more ground we'd love to cover with these characters going forward, and that's a decision that we'll find out about in the coming weeks, whether or not we'll be able to get another bite at the apple, so to speak. So, one thing I'm really happy about is that whenever you do a book like this, I wanted to kind of leave the characters and the family in kind of a better position. I don't want to say better position than they were when I started, because, who am I? It's just 5 issues. But I did want to leave something behind. And I think that the changes and the enhancements that we made to Anissa's power set is something that I'm very, very excited about to either do more with myself or for another creator to come down the line and do more with that. So that was pretty much our goal when we started. We wanted to solidify the Pierce family as a kind of a real, kind of pillar within this newly constituted DC universe. Right. And I really think that the work we did with the relationships between the characters, a little refining and enhancement of power sets, I think that will benefit them going forward. So,
okay.
Really proud of that, and really proud of the artwork that the team produced, because we really wanted this character and his family to have a certain scale to their adventures and the visuals. And I think that, on that, on that front, I have absolutely no regrets. I only regret my own output. What everyone else did, I'm very, very excited and very, very proud of. I think they did a fantastic job making these characters and their powers feel big and important and epic and expansive. We really wanted to show this family kind of up in space, in a very natural, organic, kind of like just kind of unsurprised way. Like, we didn't want it to feel like, like Jen is up in space on the Watchtower. This is like a really big deal. Like, before we wanted to kind of weave this idea of them being heroes, of them being in the Justice League or kind of having Justice League associations into their dynamic. So it wasn't, so it wasn't a big deal. To me, it was a big deal to show that and showcase that, but we didn't want the characters to feel like they were kind of, even in Jen's case, who was the youngest, we didn't want anyone to feel kind of like awestruck or, just kind of like, oh, I'm talking to Batman, so, that's what I wanted to bring to that dynamic and make it feel, ultimately I wanted it to feel like they belonged wherever they were, whether it was on the Watchtower, whether it was down in, Suicide Slum, which is now Southside Heights. I just wanted it to feel like they belonged in every scene. They belonged in every environment and every situation. So,
well, I think that's the key thing you said, that you wanted them to feel like they belong, and they most certainly do belong. The thing is, Black Lightning and particularly Thunder have been in a lot of comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer is the one that's been kind of missing, so to speak. But both of them, Black Lightning and Thunder, have been outsiders. So they're a part of the DC lore, which is interesting because this character, Black Lightning in particular, a character that I love and adore, has his influence, whether it's on the Batman side or in the Superman family. I mean, you could literally put him in either or, and he's not out of place. It's not like you got to shoehorn him or the family into this DC universe. They naturally are there because they're supposed to be there. I just want to salute you for doing the book that I believe that this character and this IP deserves. I wanted to ask about, particularly with Jefferson. Jefferson's sojourn in this run has been not one where he is focused, which I kind of like, I got to be honest. There was not a lot of focus on himself. He's literally in a father role in this book. And while he's definitely doing damage and doing his thing or whatever, and his role is his role as a father is the biggest thing I see in this book, and which I thought was interesting in that, because we don't have a Black superhero family that we are able to like just talk about, and kind of like this is kind of the outside of Steel with John Henry and Natasha. You really don't have that anywhere else, as far as DC goes. And so this is almost like not a, well, I guess it is a first in a way. So it's just good to be able to see a superhero family dynamic in a comic book. And so for Jefferson or whatever, I see him as this larger than life character, but it's very, very still an humble, concerned, guy who's not, he's not an a-hole. He's really a loving dad. And I think that's the biggest thing for me as a Black man who has, daughters in particularly. I just loved his relationship, even when it was rocky, with Thunder, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to ask, when you decided to tell this story, was there anything else that you wanted to do? Because I kind of feel like you kind of knew what you wanted to do when you got the nod to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely it's kind of one of those things, like what makes this family and the dynamic unique. And this story was called, The Standard, which is it's a Mike Tomlin reference actually, but I felt that's kind of what I had to keep reminding myself of, because, I when I'm doing it, there's always the, like, I wanted to find moments for Jefferson, like, as the kind of like big kind of superhero power shots. And once we actually started doing the series, what I had to basically, what I kind of had to accept for myself was that when I started, what I had considered as kind of like a powerful moment for Jefferson wasn't exactly what the story needed from him. The story, those powerful moments were him being a dad, him being a protective, supportive, patient father. And there's the there's obviously like the comics part. It's like, I just want him to like wreck people, I just want him to like really like mess somebody up, or really. So it was really balancing those moments, like those really kind of cool visuals where we see Jefferson kind of unloading, or doing something really cool visually, versus the kind of emotional things that he needed to do in order for the story to kind of be worth telling. And so I'm really happy that kind of shined through, because that was kind of what I was always trying to make myself focus on. And I did try to get those cool physical moments in there for you. But I knew that ultimately the other stuff was more important. I knew that what happened in the 4th issue with him and Anissa, and him basically deciding that he was going to stay on the Watchtower with her, next to her, until she was ready to go home, that was the most important thing that happened in that story. Whether it like looked cool or not, whether he got to hit somebody in the face or not, the most important part of this story was the emotional stuff. And when you really kind of break it down, the emotional stuff is what we don't often see from Black superheroes. Like those kind of emotional points, and those the decisions and the self-sacrifice. Like how can we show kind of like his ability to put his children and the needs of his children first, kind of became what the point was, what the point of everything was. So
yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I love Blacklightning as a character, was his family dynamic, his relationship, even though it's complicated with Lynn.
It's more complicated now.
yeah, clearly. And so but these characters, these characters that you put together around him, particularly with Anissa, who now that we get the end of the book, we really see the perspective. And so when you're faced with a situation like hers, where she doesn't know if she can control her powers, or if she can really be there for when she needs to be there, that kind of thing. Her anger with her father, whatever. These things that really are not his fault. It's kind of like you just got this internal struggle, because we always hurt the people that's closest to us for whatever reason. But her journey in this, finally finding her way. I just love the therapy angle that you took with her, because I think that there's something, now in this modern world, therapy is saluted. But I grew up in a time where Black people frowned upon therapy and talking to someone about your problems or whatever. And so I like that aspect of it as well, because as someone who has done therapy myself or whatever, it is just that, it's therapeutic, because you're talking to someone who doesn't know you, but is able to just get you to tell your story. And that's kind of what she does. And of course, sometimes it's painful, whatever, but I wanted to just ask, the therapy part of Anissa's journey, what was the inspiration for that?
That's me putting my my psychology major to work.
Okay.
Mostly. And I have a couple of good friends that are that have been in therapy, for a few years now, and are desperately trying to get me to to indulge, and I should, but I have a couple of good examples for how helpful it can be to people that are really close to me. So I think I have kind of like a respect for it, that just kind of emotionally or intellectually, that I think kind of led me down this path. And a long time ago, when I was a psychology major in college, so it's always something that's really interested me, how our minds work, how trauma changes us, how we can, in essence, kind of defeat and conquer our demons. And I have this thing where I want I want the characters that I have the ability to write stories for to be better at this than I personally have. Than I have personally been. It's very important to me to try to help these kind of characters that I'm writing, kind of get them to points that even I haven't figured out how to get myself to. And I don't know if that's kind of like my own personal therapy, but anyone that has read my creator-owned book, Excellence, I mean, Excellence is basically just like me on the couch. Like, if you really just kind of peel the layers of that book back, that is like childhood and relationship problems with family members. And so it's just something I have a high degree of respect for. And it was something that really felt right for this story. And there was a really popular storyline a few years back called Heroes in Crisis, written by Tom King, that really put the therapy angle front and center. And once I found out that there was essentially like a therapy suite, like up on the Watchtower, that was kind of based on this idea that Tom King had introduced, it was really something that just fit together, really well, even though it does have like a kind of sci-fi twist to it, where the therapist is actually, not like a human being. It's kind of like an AI, but so I still find some, kind of like sci-fi superhero twist to it. But it was fun to do, and it was important for me to kind of get that right and have it feel like it was like Anissa's kind of journey and her kind of peaks and valleys ended in the right place, where it's supposed to be, where the family unit is kind of back to how it's supposed to be. And that was part of, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's part of why we made the changes to her power set, because it made her power set a little closer to her father and her sister. And that was one of the issues in that kind of family dynamic, with Anissa feeling a certain kind of way about how her younger sister had the same power set as her father, and that connected them in a way that she felt like she wasn't connected to him. So, that's part of why we did what we did there.
Yeah. Now I want to talk real briefly. we're gonna get ready to bring Paul on
Okay.
in a second. Jennifer. Okay.
Yeah.
I dig Jennifer's energy and perspective in this story.
Mm.
You know, if you got siblings or whatever, right? There are siblings that, you know, regardless what goes on, they really don't seem to have any issues.
Right.
They're really happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
They're not emo. They just kind of like doing their things like a good child.
Everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they just rock with whatever comes their way. But I like Jennifer's perspective in this. You know, she's clearly got a level head or whatever, and I think that's a good contrast to Anissa.
The
but
intensity.
yeah. You know, so I wanted to just ask, you know, where did the inspiration to write her like that? You know what I'm saying? Where did that come from?
Yeah, it was just, it felt like she would be, because ultimately her goal is she just wants everybody to be cool. Yeah. I feel like that is her, you know, that's her vibe and that's her mission. She wants everybody to get along. She doesn't want to have, you know, she doesn't, you know, sometimes you have those discussions with certain family members that like other family members can't know about. Like there's like the private thread that's going on. You know, I feel like Jennifer's mission is to get everybody on the same thread. Like Jennifer doesn't want to have, Jennifer will have a private thread, you know, with her sister, but she doesn't like, you know, she doesn't like this stuff. She doesn't like, you know, like Anissa's, you know, upset with dad and dad doesn't know how to deal with her. And you know, and I'm just kind of caught in the middle of it. So I always felt like her vibe was just, she just wants everybody to be cool. And, you know, we've talked a little bit about this. I feel that, you know, Anissa kind of absorbed kind of some of the bullets from, you know, her father in a sense where he wasn't crazy about her being a superhero. So I think as the oldest, she kind of, you know, got to absorb a little more pushback. And by the time it was Jen's turn, it was like, okay, you know, we've come to a moment where we're like okay with this. Yeah. And Anissa is just kind of like, well, she didn't have to go through any of the stuff, you know, I did. Like she just gets to come in and everybody's cool and feels good about it. So I feel like that would just give her just a much different perspective on the whole thing. And I also wanted to make her a lot more connected to other young heroes around her age, which we saw in the opening scene of issue 3. That was also something that was like very important to me and felt very her. Like Anissa would never do that. Like Anissa would never like on a Zoom, you know, with her like contemporary, just because of just the kind of generational thing, and also where, you know, I think that there's like an intensity and kind of like a self-assuredness to Anissa that Jennifer doesn't have yet. And Jennifer is, you know, she's a little younger, so she's more accepting of that. She's more accepting of the fact that like she doesn't have all of the answers. She doesn't know everything. I feel like Anissa, as the oldest, she's a little more kind of headstrong, a little more like their father in a sense where she expects a lot from herself because of her father and the example that he has set. And there's a part of her that really feels caught in his shadow sometimes that Jennifer just doesn't have. So, you definitely want them to feel different, as if they've had different experiences and their relationships are on kind of slightly different emotional registers. And, you know, if the story was the other way and Jennifer was the one whose powers were out of control, I mean, the story would have gone completely differently. Like that had to be Anissa, given the fact where she and her father are, and kind of just their shared history together. It had to be her. Jennifer wouldn't. There was a lot of shame and kind of embarrassment, and I think like humiliation on Anissa's part that she was kind of projecting onto herself that Jennifer never would have done. She wouldn't have considered herself like in some kind of way deficient, in the way that Anissa did. So
yeah, I mean, to me, Anissa is just complicated.
Yeah.
She's just a complicated person. She has these complicated relationships with Grace, of course, who makes, is in the book. And this
so great to get her in there.
Yeah. And this complicated relationship with her father. And I think in the community just in general, because, she kind of strikes me as a lone wolf, so to speak. Even though she has this family around her or whatever, she kind of stands on, which is why, if you've read other books that she's been in, when she was an outsider, she had her own identity, and she's been kind of firm with that, yes, this is my father, but I am who I am.
Right.
So, I mean, it's an amazing family. I have enjoyed this much. And I know this is only because you didn't have enough time.
Yeah, I know.
But my wanting to see Lynn more.
Yeah.
In this book, and it's cool. She's in the book. She's definitely in issue number 5 for sure.
Yeah,
but
she's definitely in the background.
Yeah.
In a sense. Yes. Yeah.
And so I guess I wanted to see some of that throughout the book. But I realized that, you got a story you got to tell, and everybody's not going to get that same time.
Unfortunately, no. But what I was happy about in this issue, once we start digging in, is there were moments of there were things that happened in this particular issue that I didn't know were going to happen when I sat down to write it.
Okay.
And what happens with him and Lynn was not really planned. Like that wasn't in like an outline. Yeah. Lynn was in the scene that she's in, but the thing that happens with them didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of one of those things where, you try to, I try to plot the stories pretty well so I don't get lost in them. But I always want to leave myself a little space to be surprised or to have like a better idea, like right at the last minute. Like I always want to leave a little space where, when I'm doing it, if it's like, that's perfect. That's perfect in this moment. And, we'll talk more about that when we get.
So we've been on here like 29 minutes. And I think it's time for the Chief Dundada to make his appearance. You know what I'm saying? Derek, where's the third wheel to this car, man? There he is.
Hey.
There he is. P Dub in the building.
What's up, man?
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I was reading comic books as you guys were talking. I'm sorry.
You know what?
I was reading blacklightning comics. I mean,
yeah.
Well, good. I'm hoping that you got some extra stuff to talk about.
Yes. I'm sure we got a lot of extra stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
What's up, Brandon? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Blacklightning number 5, the finale,
the standard, the final chapter.
Look.
For
this
now,
has been, I would say, the last several months has been a build-up to an epic chapter in DC history. Between Blacklightning being sort of the catalyst and then you doing the DC Power book, and having Blacklightning 5 be the precursor to the the DC Power Recharge book that's upcoming.
Yep, Power Company coming soon.
Big things are coming, man.
Yeah,
big things are coming. Blacklightning had a big come up in this issue. There was a lot of redefinitions of the character, redefinitions of his family in this universe, which we'll talk about. Shout out to the chat. iManifesto saying P-Dub with the staged reading mode. And I wasn't staged, dude. I was literally, they've been talking for half an hour. I'm just sitting here. Well, they're gonna talk. I'm gonna read comics. That wasn't staged. I was reading comics. I mean, that's what I do in my free time. I read comics. I'm a black comic lord. This is what we do. But let's jump into what we have in this issue. Where's
covers? You gotta get the covers first, man.
Where's the covers?
Oh, we were doing the recap of issue 4.
Oh, you were doing the recap. Did you guys do the recap?
We did not do the recap.
We did not do the recap. Not the last issue.
All right, Brandon, give us a 10-sentence recap of what happened with the prior issue.
In the prior issue, Anissa Pierce is currently confined on the JLU Watchtower as she gets control of her new power set. And her father has made a decision that he is going to stay up on the watchtower with her until she's ready to come home. He's been staying in the kind of pod immediately next to her. And she is making some big growth in this issue emotionally, getting these new powers under control with the help of her father and some Justice League and outsider friends. And at the end of the issue, her father and her sister, they've been unraveling this big mystery that's been happening throughout the entire story about the Sons of Liberty and Metropolis Congressman Jay Harriman, who is the one of the worst characters I've ever written, which is kind of fun, but he is someone that I'd like to see hit in the face pretty soon, but we'll get to that. And they've been unraveling this mystery together, with Anissa kind of serving as the woman in the chair on the watchtower, helping them unravel this puzzle. They make a big discovery. Blacklightning and Lightning show up on the scene, and they are quickly depowered and then attacked by the Sons of Liberty, which is this anti-metahuman militia, which has been kicking up a lot of trouble throughout this whole story. So when issue 4 ends, Jefferson and Jen are overwhelmed and powerless, and Anissa is stuck on the watchtower as the only one with her powers still operational. So that is where we pick up in issue 5.
All right, so now that brings us to issue number 5. Here are the covers. On cover A, we have the return of Grace Choi.
Yes.
Anissa's girlfriend, or at least she was at one point. Ex-girlfriend. It's complicated. Relationships are complicated. I really love cover B because it's got the core of the family. Jennifer, Anissa, and Jefferson all in the same cover. A little bit of a spoiler in terms of Anissa's power, but we'll get into that.
Yes. And what's funny about that cover was actually drawn before we even started the book.
A word?
Yep. So before I even started, officially writing it, that cover was already done. So that was just kind of like a group shot with Thunder front and center, but it worked out as the variant for issue 5. So
yeah.
It all works out.
Shout out to DC, man. DC's variant.
Their cover game has been on point for the last couple of years. Like, they bring in a really good mix of artists, and they really like if you really kind of pay attention, like if you're a big kind of connoisseur of cover art, they're really doing some really cool, interesting things the last couple of years. They use their variants as opportunities, and it's not just kind of like the same idea drawn by, you know, a different artist. So
shout out to everybody in the chat. Brandon has agreed to provide some giveaways, some signed comics to give away to y'all.
yes.
But there is a caveat. You must like this video, have shared this video, and be subscribed to the Black Comic Lords YouTube channel in order to qualify for the free drawing for free signed comics by Mr. Brandon Thomas.
Yes, every issue of the series, every variant. I may be missing one, but pretty much like 97%.
And all you got to do is hit a couple buttons for free on your device right now to be entered to get that. It doesn't get better than that. I mean, Black Comic Lords, we're the gift that keeps on giving. Just ask you to help us help you by liking and subscribing and sharing the video. All right, so let's jump into the book, man. Let's talk about what's going on. What's cracking?
Batman again.
Tell us what's happening here. Jennifer is talking to someone, and it's a reel to Batman. Talk about this discussion between how Jennifer has changed from issue 1 to issue 5 to get to this moment where she's talking to Batman.
Okay, yeah, this is Anissa actually, but Anissa is essentially still locked in her little bomb-proof apartment up on the Watchtower. She knows her family is in trouble, and she knows that Batman has been keeping tabs on her this entire time and kind of following her progress in these last couple of weeks as she's put herself back together. And she essentially tells him she knows he's there. She knows he can, you know, let her out with a push of a button, and that he needs to do that, and he needs to do it right now. So
just so we're clear, this is the same Batman that last issue was like, yeah, your daughter's way too dangerous to be out in the streets just like you, Jefferson. I dare you. I triple dog dare you to do something about it. Basically goaded to my man's to punch him square in the mouth. And instead, he swung on Superman. Batman deserved to punch a taser lightning punch to the mouth for his disrespect to Jefferson Pierce. I'm just putting it out there. I really think Batman's.
Come on now, Paul. Y'all, you know what? Listen, I understand that there's a certain segment of our core that don't care for Batman, but you got to remember.
Batman. Batman is my dude.
But that's what I'm saying. You gotta understand something about Batman. See, Batman has worked with Jefferson, and Batman has worked with Anissa, so he knows them. He knows both of them intimately. They were on the same squad, outsiders. So we know Batman has a contingency plan for every team member, every enemy.
I don't give a damn. Batman. He asked for them hands. He asked for them hands. He disrespected Jefferson's daughter to his face, disrespected Jefferson to his face, and said, what? He deserved to get them hands. He should have got them hands. This is the same dude. Now Anissa's talking to him. She's like, look, I know you don't like me. I know you don't trust me. I know you think I'm a wild card. I know you think I'm dangerous, but I've leveled up. I'm good. Let me out of here.
I'm trying to find out where he said that in this book. I don't see that at all.
What? You got to read the subtext.
Stop projecting, Paul.
This is storytelling. It is a combination of Brandon Thomas's words and the pictures.
And a little extra projection into the mix. But when that happened, you know, I always knew that this was going to be a moment. You know, I always knew that that Anissa and Batman were going to have a little moment like this. Yeah. It's brief because, you know, we got business to handle. We ain't got a lot of time for all this. But I did feel that it was important to kind of revisit this kind of face off in a sense where
listen to Anissa's words. So what's it gonna be, Batman? Are we gonna have a problem or not? I love that line.
I mean, look, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, it's Batman. It's got to be some drama if Batman's involved. Batman is not this stoic hero. Batman likes the drama. He lives for the drama. But what does he do? What does he do, Paul? He lets her out. And what does she say? Woo! That was close.
No, this was a really fun scene to write, and you know, it was important that it was him. I mean, this could have been anyone in the Justice League, but I wanted to establish that Batman has been keeping, you know, tabs on this situation, and not from a, you know, just kind of a Batman. You know, it's one of those things about Batman. You know, Batman is a loner. Like, he's not. Batman has like 87 partners. Batman's on like 5 different teams. You know, he understands team dynamics. He understands, you know, how to push people sometimes in uncomfortable spaces. And this was important for them to have this moment where she's like, look, I know you've been watching me. I know you've been watching my little training videos. I know you've been keeping track. I know you've been reading the transcript. You know, I know you've been keeping an eye on what's going on. So you know that I'm ready to go. So I need to go and help my family. And let's just leave it at that.
Right, Jamal. That's why Batman deserved the smack. He knew how close Jefferson was to his family, and he still decided to disrespect. It would have been a refreshing move to make. Let me tell you, Batman should look. He's my dude.
I'm just saying, look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Hold on, Paul. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. All right. Now, true or false? Homegirl has some issues with her powers. Right?
Yeah.
You're Batman. You're not Superman. You know, you can't punch through steel. You're Batman. Your superpower literally is being able to keep tabs on people. That's who he is. So he's only doing what Batman does.
No. There's a difference between saying I'm going to do contingencies to contain Anissa because her powers are unstable, and looking Jefferson dead ass in his eye and say, your daughter's dangerous. Just like you. Just like you. Looked him dead ass in the eyes to his face, dissed his daughter and dissed him in his face, and looked at him and said,
this is the same guy.
Kind of across the road, but yeah.
Brandon just talked about his family, the Robins. How many of the Robins have wanted to choke, kill, and shoot Batman? Namely Jason Todd.
We're not talking about white folks. We're talking about black family. We're talking about a black family. You don't disrespect a member of the black family and walk away without getting punched in the mouth. I'm sorry. Batman deserved a punch in the mouth.
Well,
am I wrong or am I right? Chat, am I wrong or am I right?
I'll put it like this.
Somebody, this is your kid. This is you.
Hold on. See, Brandon, this that foolishness, Brandon. This that foolishness. Everybody say he deserved to be punched. Okay, let's say if there was a real Batman. You mean to tell me
if Elon Musk put on a rubber mask,
that's Elon.
Face, he said, your kid is dangerous just like you, and stared me in the face, Elon Musk is catching
Batman
this
is not trying to cut nobody's Social Security off.
That's hilarious.
Bad example.
That's hilarious. All I'm saying is that I know why everybody's upset with Batman. It is what it is. It had to be some drama. And he just provided it for a moment. He let it go. It ain't like he asked a bunch of questions.
Yeah. He let Superman take swings that he should have been having to his face. That's right. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go, Brandon.
You mean after we talked about it last month, like half an hour?
I was upset. Look, I was upset last issue. Batman deserved, man, let me tell you. Let me move on. Anyhow.
Oh, this was fun.
So Jefferson is getting his ass whooped. His depowered, and these regular folk are like, okay, Black Lightning's depowered. We just gonna gang up on folk and just take them out.
Right.
Jefferson's getting his ass beat. I mean, the dude's swollen everything, but he's getting outnumbered like 3-1.
Well, it's more than 3-1 before
it's
this,
more than
but
3-1.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like, I don't know, 12-1, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't like seeing my man get beat down like this. But I do something respect on this. Jefferson is also blinded at this point.
Yes.
I love the fact that his trust, faith, and training of his daughter, Jennifer, is such that he's literally like, I can't see. Tell me what to do next. Jennifer's calling out 6 o'clock, uppercut, 3 o'clock, cross punch, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just putting in the work, knocking dudes out because they have that simpatico. True family, true training. The fact that he's trained his daughter to be able to do that, the fact that he has faith in his family to protect him like that was a great scene that you put together there.
This was a lot of fun. When you go back to that previous panel, we worked on this like several times to make sure that the blur effect was how we wanted it. There were like, I don't know, we did like 5 or 6 different versions of that panel that's like through his eyes to kind of show you kind of how he has kind of like blurred, compromised vision. And we really wanted to, everything is a space problem. Like I didn't have the space that I wanted to. So I was like, how do I do something kind of cool and impactful in this 3 pages? Because I literally we have 3 pages before Anissa shows up. And there was no more space than that. And so I had to come up with something that would work in this really tight window. And you have to do stuff where, we don't get to see him, knock everybody out, but we show enough of the scene to show that like, hey, there's like, like 8 of these dudes is like down. So, it's a bit of a struggle. Obviously, they're taking advantage of their opportunity. But I did want to make, after what happens in the first issue, how they get depowered, I really wanted to give you a sense that after that, there was a lot of additional kind of training and thought into like, okay, what happens if this happens again? What happens if we lose our powers? Like, what, like, how do we protect ourselves even when we're depowered? And this was kind of to show you that there's been some growth on that front as well. And
depowered and blind and still putting in work against a dozen dudes.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. And FIGO just does an amazing job with everything. So it was a lot of fun. Oh, yes.
Be a Brandon Thomas Blacklightning book without a dope ass action splash page. It's like required. Every single issue has a dope action splash page, and this is the one of them right here.
Yeah. This was
Anissa comes on the scene with her new power set, get away from them, and then all you see is this crackly Kirby crackle type energy springing out from her. Explain to us what this power is. What is the Thunder 2.0 level up?
Distance. When we started this series, a couple of things that we're thinking about. Jefferson's power set is the same as Jennifer's, and that gives those 2 characters a connection that Anissa has always been slightly envious of. So just visually and also emotionally, we wanted to bring her power set a little closer to her families. And for us, that meant she needs to have some, we wanted to increase the range on her attack, kind of like extend her attack radius so that her, that she doesn't need to be directly in front of you to do damage to you anymore. So, kind of what it's kind of like a combination of, like a little kind of like telekinesis push where, where Anissa can throw a punch from, several feet away now. And now she can strike targets from a little further away. And so we just wanted to kind of expand her attack radius a little bit and give her like the tiniest kind of like energy projection. So obviously she can't, throw lightning like her father and her sister, but she can get you from a little further away now. And that was kind of like our goal for her power set. So if, Anissa kind of punches the air in front of her, that is going to produce like a concussive force that can strike a target that's a little further away from her. So,
but her powers aren't really reliable.
Well, they are reliable.
Hold on. Before you switch that page, Derek, go back. Derek, go back. Okay, I wanted to say something. But you can't see it on the splash page because he cut it off at the top. But I just like Jennifer just kind of chilling. She just got her arms folded, just looking at this. Her sister just get down. That's my favorite part of the whole thing. I mean, it's all the action is here, but she just up top, just chilling, just like, go ahead, girl. I mean, this is an amazing splash page. You need to get your boy to fight. Tell hey man, say Blacklightning's most favorite fan needs that. You know what I'm saying? I got $5. I got $5. Say just etch out me a little. Just give me the part with Jennifer. Just give me the part with Jennifer. I don't need the whole. I just need.
You don't need the whole page.
I don't need the whole page.
Just need the silhouette.
Just the silhouette. Yeah, she's just chilling. I mean, this is a dope splash page though, for real. Very, very energetic.
Great moment.
Very, very energetic.
Great moment for her.
Yeah, it's comic book splash page, and the reason why I say it like that, go back to real quick. I'm having too much fun with this, Derek. Come on, go back. So if you look at my man's right behind, let's see, where is it at? I just saw it. It was a boot.
Camera.
It was a boot. No, it was a dude with a boot. Where'd it go? Maybe it's the other page. I'm bugging. Okay. There's a page.
He bends his leg backwards. You talking about that one?
I think so.
Yeah. That was the page before.
Okay, I'm bugging.
Yeah,
but anyway,
he popped somebody's kneecap.
That's okay.
That was fun.
Okay. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry. I'm just having a geek moment. That's all.
Distracted.
All right. Her powers seem a bit wonky.
This is the first time that she's really, she's really kind of unleashing in a conscious way. And then there's a moment where she feels like she might be losing it again, might be losing control, losing focus.
What exactly is this new power set? Is it electrical based or?
It's more kind of concussive. It's more like a concussive force. So it's kind of like an in-between. Like it's not quite electricity, but it's kind of like a concussive plasma. So it's something that, like I said, allows her to get a little more distance on her attacks.
So as before, Anissa having the strength and invulnerability would do like her Hulk smash, slap her hands together. She doesn't have to do that. She can actually generate a concussive force on her own.
Right. And give her, like I said, it was all about range. We wanted to increase her range and give her a little kind of energy projection on her powers that would more closely align her with the power sets of her family members.
Okay.
So she still has her original power set, but now she kind of has a little boost. So she can, she can get you from a little further away now. She's not like a strictly kind of hand-to-hand, combatant.
She seems to be still trying to figure out her powers and the extent of it, whether she can drain it all, how she can control it. It seems to somehow be controlled by her emotions. Grace has to calm her down to be able to harness that power. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, basically to kind of rein it in. This is a pretty big, kind of power expression for her. And so it's all about belief. And she, it's her believing in herself and believing in the people around her. And so this is why Grace shows up at this critical moment to essentially tell her, in so many words, like, you can control this. Like, this is within your power. Like, don't let don't let the moment overwhelm you. So that in this moment, there's a possibility that she's basically, talked a little mess to Batman. She's, presumably come down out of some portal and dropped into a building. So this is kind of a big moment for her. And this is this was the moment for Grace to kind of come back and just give her a little support in a critical moment. And this turned into this is one of my favorite moments of this series. Just this really kind of close, kind of intimate moment between the two of them, where she's just like, don't pay any attention to them, you listen to me. And so that's how she kind of gets her to settle down and to regain her focus.
Well, iManifesto makes a good comment. He says it would be dope if she gets charged up by electric energy similar to Havoc with solar energy. So if her sister decides to discharge an electric blast on her, can she absorb that and make it projected out as concussive force?
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Yeah,
that sounds like the next volume.
Yeah, that sounds like volume 2.
All right, there you go. iManifesto, that's your idea. Good at you. All right. So Anissa comes back on the scene, gets rid of the power dampeners that they had.
Gives them a little time. Powers come back. Because of their bootleg power dampener, which we kind of will address that a little more a little later too. But just wanted to. There was I was trying to cover us a couple of issues ago when I first brought up this idea of them. People creating these kind of bootleg power dampeners. I made sure to put we don't know how effective they would be or how long they would last, because I knew, I was going to have them temporarily depowered, but not be depowered for long. So,
So they track down the kid, Isaac.
Yes, and Volcana.
We're still trying to figure out Volcana's deal. Is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Is she just misunderstood?
She's compromised, is what she is.
She's compromised. Explain that. What does that mean?
Volcana has made arrangements with certain people that are kind of pulling the strings on certain things. Some of their attacks have been for a very particular purpose and for someone's benefit. So, she has been compromised in a way, and she is about to be exposed to the rest of her team that believes her kind of line where I'm fighting, I'm fighting for us, and and I want to make sure that we're protected, which is true, but there is a benefactor to this group that we reveal in full in a few scenes.
I Manifesto asked, do they all fly? Do all the Pierces fly at this point with their power sets?
No, they don't. Well, Jefferson and Jen do, but Grace doesn't. That's essentially Windfall, who is the character that's kind of, giving them all kind of the little the storm boost. So
Well, what about Anissa with this concussive blast that she can now make? Does that allow her to fly?
She doesn't. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Not yet. Maybe soon, but she does not currently.
This one character is a Windfall, Blast, Volcana. There's this change up on allegiances. The Masters of Disaster are a bit somewhat of a misnomer, because you can't really tell if they're good or bad. They seem to be sort of kind of reminds me of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, or
they have some conflicting objectives. Everyone is not there for the same reason. They have similar goals, but they're not all aligned. They're not all perfectly aligned. And Volcana has been keeping secrets from the rest of the group, which really kind of comes to a head here, because the trap. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I was saying that the trap that Jefferson and Jennifer walked into was actually set for the Masters of Disaster. That's who the Sons of Liberty was intending to ambush and depower. But Blacklightning and his daughter got there first, and so they, basically took the hit, unfortunately.
I love the fact that Volcano keeps saying, "How dare you treat me like this? Don't you know I fought Superman? Like, I'm a Superman villain. Put some respect on my name."
It's just that's me kind of being funny, kind of doing a little reminder, because we first encountered her in the Superman animated series, so I wanted her to have this thing where she's like, well, I fought Superman, like I'm obviously on a higher level than everybody else here, so it's a little little ego talking right there.
Volcana mentioned something about Windfall giving her a boost. What does she mean by that?
Oh, that's actually that's Anissa getting the boost right there.
Okay.
So just like you said that Anissa can't fly, so that's Windfall kind of giving her a little cyclone push to get her to Volcana a little sooner.
All right. Volcana, she projects heat, she projects fire, etc. Is Anissa's power set such that she can create force fields, or just a vulnerability? How does that work?
She can create force fields with the kind of like concussive force. So this is kind of what you're seeing here. So Anissa is essentially kind of punching the air in front of her, which is creating like a little kind of barrier between Volcana's flame and her.
Eric's Nation asked a good question. With enough training, could Anissa control her density to be about to phase?
That could be interesting. We didn't talk about that as a potential application, but without giving too much away, if we were okay, maybe I'll give a little away, but a little, DC knows where I'd like to go with this, where I'd like to take this. And a big theme of what I have proposed is that their power sets, basically what has happened to Anissa's power set in this situation where her powers are taken away and put back, basically poses a question to the rest of the family. And that question is essentially, these powers that we have now, is this it? Is this the ceiling? Or is there another level that is kind of lurking somewhere within us, within our meta gene. So that's probably all I'll say about that. But basically, what happened with Anissa in this story becomes a real linchpin of what I would like to do going forward with the characters and the family and where their powers actually came from, and if their current kind of power expressions are the ceiling for them, or if there is a, essentially like a secondary mutation to their abilities that is possible for the rest of them. So stay tuned.
You actually had a second action-packed splash page.
Snuck another one in.
You snuck another one in with Anissa. Great splash page, great storytelling, great angle,
great hair,
energy, great hair, super Kirby crackle to like punch.
Yep.
Coming up, you have the expression on Volcana's face. She knows her ass about to get beat. This is a great page. Is this how you describe the page to be, or is this Fico just going off and being Fico?
No. I described one thing that was a little different in the description of the page. The entire background of this panel was going to be the Kirby crackle.
Yeah.
But what happened was that it wasn't. It was becoming unclear if it was actually coming from her or if it was kind of like a projection that was happening behind her. So these are kind of one of those little things that happens when you're actually doing the thing. But this moment is all like in the script, like, with Anissa kind of, rearing back, saying the cool line, and then having the little panoramic shot of Volcana, like, seconds away from, taking a power shot to the face. So this was all there, but obviously it turned out much better than I had imagined it in my head. So, that all little things always change a little bit. So what we did instead was we kept like extending the Kirby crackle off of her fist. So the first version was literally just her fist. And we kept, we told Ulysses like a couple times, like, more, like we want it to extend, even, further away from her fist. So, but yeah, it was a fun page. Fun page.
Were you going to say something, Rich?
Just looking.
Fun moment.
Yep.
So then we have just me and you, baby.
Look, this was not in the original outline at all. This is one of those things I was saying before. Want to leave a little space in the outline so you can find moments like this. And so we already had the little moment between Anissa and Grace, and I'm just like, let's do another one. Let's get some more romance in here. Because, there's no space for, we didn't have a lot of space for that. So to be able to at least have like just a little moment in this final issue that kind of hinted, and kind of brought that to the forefront, I thought was something that was really, really cool and necessary. So
it hinted towards a possible reconciliation between Jefferson and his wife, or his ex-wife.
Yes.
That would be cool. I loved having, I'm always a big proponent and fan of seeing Black love in comics. It's a beautiful thing. I had one criticism for you, Brandon. You already know what it is. You already know what it is, because from the very first issue, I said you have a great opportunity in the series.
Oh,
given the absolute power. You already know the question I'm going to ask. Given the absolute power storyline in which random people were granted powers, DC, I think, had a great, easy, cost you nothing opportunity to give Lynn powers And then you would have had a Fantastic Four within the DC universe. You would have had DC's superpowered family, nuclear family. In fact, technically, the only nuclear family of superpowered family, if that makes sense. Because even though Superman has a family, his wife, for the most part, Lois Lane, doesn't have powers usually.
But she does now.
She does now, but usually she does not have powers.
That's
This
part
was
of
an opportunity for them to have an official superpowered Fantastic Four within the DC universe. I really wanted to see that happen. It was already set up with an absolute power storyline for that to do that. That was my only criticism of this run, is that I really want, and that's, I know it's all self-serving, but I really wanted Joe.
Well, it's not self-serving. It's a great idea, and all I'll say about that is stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. I hear you talking, Brandon Thomas. I hear you talking, my brother. All right.
Let's just say I agree with a lot of what you just said, and just we'll leave it there for a little bit.
I'm gonna send an angry email to Marquise, but that's all
right. He's gonna say, "I know."
No, Marquise will be like, "Who are you exactly?"
Oh, stop.
Anyway, Councilman Harriman.
Oh boy.
You kind of got to figure out who is the big cheese. Let's follow the money.
Yep.
And find out who's behind all of this.
Follow the money and follow the news coverage.
And Jefferson has this moment with Councilman Harriman to talk about this.
This is a fun scene to write. I love scenes like this. I don't know if anyone is familiar with a show called Monk with Tony Shalhoub, detective with OCD. But I always love I love every episode of that show is like a little mystery, and there's always a scene at the end where Detective Monk described, like, here's what happened. So this is basically me doing a version of that type of scene, that, here's what happened. Here's what was really going on this entire time. So I really wanted to, get these two guys, face to face at the end. And, it's a really cool, it was a really fun scene to write, especially with Harriman having, at the beginning of the scene, he's essentially like playing dumb. He's doing the whole, which is I don't know why it's a pet peeve. Like people playing dumb is like a big pet peeve of mine for some reason. And so I really wanted to, put a moment like that in here where he's like, "What? Mr. Blacklightning, I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about?" And then you get to the Kaiser Soze moment, and he's just like, "All right, listen, but what are you gonna do about it? Can you prove that I did any of that?" And so it was fun to write this moment for him, because this is the first time they're meeting in person. We've seen Harriman kind of talking about him or talking at him, but this is the first time they've come face to face, and it's a really great moment where he's like, "Yeah, we figured out what you did." And this continues off of that other moment where, Anissa has that great line where, they did a good job, but we have Batman and they don't. So that's what it is. So
see, Paul, Batman's an ally.
Batman is that friend. Everybody has that friend.
Yeah.
My best friend is turned into that now. Everybody's got that friend that you just
got
want
that one friend.
That you want to just all the time, just asking for it, just constant.
Yep. Yeah.
So Batman's a friend of me.
Yeah.
You take part of the difficulty with this series is that you only have a certain amount of real estate to tell the story. And so you have to summarize everything on this one page, all the exposition to basically tie everything up. But
here's what happened.
Capable way of doing that.
So yeah, so essentially that's kind of what that was kind of like the vehicle to get to this page, where it's kind of like, you know, where we were essentially like pulling elements from previous issues and then putting them all together and then telling you how they were all connected. So it was fun. And then, you know, FICO did a good job with it, because this is a page, you know, if I had another take of it, let me get one caption out of there. But you know, that's always just me. So I don't want anyone to pay attention to me. Don't let me affect your enjoyment of something.
So Harriman has the audacity and unmitigated gall of having Jefferson explain to him, break down everything that's happened. I know who you are, dude. I know what's going on. And have him say, I need you to prove it. Right. You can't prove nothing.
In a court of law.
You know.
Yes.
You can act all bold, but you can't do nothing, Blacklightning.
Which is the typical supervillain nonsense. Well, it's not nonsense, but that's, you know, it's part of the genre. So, you know, we got to make it hard on our heroes to get the right things done.
Wait a minute now. Go back, Derek. Go back one more slide, because I don't think y'all skipped the slide. See, the slide that you should have had in there, Paul, was the last slide when Jefferson is talking to Harriman, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, man. you keep right on thinking that." You know, he's got this look on his face like he's shook, because you see the lightning kind of crackling off of Jefferson. Yeah.
That was fun. I just, you know, it felt right, because, you know, he does the whole, you know, Lex Luthor supervillain monologue and all, like, you can't prove anything and all I'll do is use this against you. And, you know, he's going on, and Jefferson is just like, yeah, all right, man, whatever.
Right. He goes, yeah, all right, man. Then blows off with lightning, knocks dude over. His son's like, Dad, you okay?
Yeah.
And Dad's like, look, talk to our people at Cadmus. Let's make them power dampeners even smaller than it was before. And get Tobias on the phone. I'm paying Tobias. Why ain't Tobias out here solving these problems? It's his supervillain. This is his hero. He's supposed to be a supervillain for. Why am I dealing with Blacklightning? Call Tobias up in here.
Right.
Now, yeah, you say stay tuned. Now let me ask you, because shout out to Marvin Crondon, his portrayal of Tobias Well in the CW Blacklightning series, which is totally different than the comic book stuff. But I like that Tobias. I like that Uncle Ruckus energy on Tobias, you know. But so if you get an opportunity to write a story or story arc with Tobias Well, I'm just curious as to would you try to do something different with Tobias, or would you try to like go back and pull some stuff from whether it's volume 1 or volume 2?
I mean, I like doing a mix of things. Not unfortunate, but I feel like Harriman is producing enough kind of Uncle Ruckus energy for us that I would probably steer Tobias away a little bit away from that, because we don't need double Ruckus, but definitely. And there are also, I mean, I need to stop talking. I'll just tell everything eventually. There are some aspects of the CW show that are in my kind of future document.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what's up.
I expect that.
That's all I'm saying.
So we see the return of another brother who we've missed.
Yeah.
Josiah Power.
Josiah Power. It was very important to me to end this series in a barbershop.
I was about to say,
sorry.
Look, my criticism number 2 for the series, my man Jefferson has been looking rough.
It was funny because we talked about that earlier, and this was already planned. So I had to. I think I probably told you that it was something like.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the reasoning behind having Jeff looking like a hobo on the street in a superhero costume?
He's not. Look, the man is busy.
He ain't got some clippers in the Justice League Watchtower.
He's got 8 jobs. He's saving the universe. He's running his own crisis team. His daughter's in trouble.
He can't go. Jennifer, take this real quick and trim up my edges.
Brandon, you didn't bring up Brandon. All the foolishness going on with Waller. You mean tell me between that and what he's doing now? I need to go get a shave. I think that's low on the list of things to do.
And get an appointment at the barbershop. I only got 20 minutes. To make my appointment. I'm blacklightning. Don't make me wait. Don't make me have to sit there reading Jet magazine for 45 minutes.
No, see, Paul. No. See, black people have real black superheroes, and the barbers in the hood who are the real superheroes, shout out to them. Them the dudes, you don't talk crazy to a man that's cutting your hair and shaving your beard.
You gonna tell me blacklightning can't get on the barbershop black booking app that all the barbers use now and say, I got an appointment at 4:15.
Jefferson's design was already what it was before we started the series, but I said, I will take the opportunity sometime before the series ends to get him in the barbershop. And it just so happened that it's
I'm just saying the barbershop should have happened by issue 3 because the man was busy. He was been looking rough.
Hey, look, he's a busy man. He has a lot going on. He's a lot going on.
And here's the thing. Hold on, Paul. Now you just said by issue 3. Okay, you know what happened in issue 3. All right, you ready to run a fade on Batman? So it's like, you know what? I don't need a fade. I'm gonna run a fade.
Right. And we couldn't do it in issue 4.
So upset. He's like, I'm so upset. I need to go to the barbershop.
And then in issue 4, the point of the 4th issue was, I'm here for my daughter. I'm going off and I'm doing the bare minimum and I'm coming right back and I'm letting her know I'm here for her. No breaks. I'm staying here until you're ready to go back home. And so now that the big fight is over, now that he's gotten in Jay Harriman's face, now that his daughter is in a much more stable place, now it's time to call Freddie and get in the chair. So there we go. All's well.
So he can look good. So he can look good for Jen later. I mean for Lynn later on.
If blacklightning
cleaned up,
I'm literally going on Amazon right now and send my man a pair of clippers at the Justice League Watchtower up in space.
You know what? Stop. The Watchtower, probably the whitest place, one of the whitest places in the universe. Ain't no barbershop on the Watchtower.
Yeah, I could have done that, but this, he wanted this to be like more of a private meeting. If we keep going, maybe I'll get Freddie up on the Watchtower. So
they got boom tubes. Freddie can't spend,
But you got to bring the whole thing, man. He got to bring his chair. He got to bring all his equipment. So it's
man, he can make that happen.
We're not gonna open the boom tube in the middle of the shop.
Why not?
I don't know. Isn't there some kind of like?
No, man, it's not been done before. You're Brandon Thomas. You can make it happen.
Wow.
Okay. So anyway, the return of Josiah Power, which leads us into the next thing that's going to happen in the life of Jefferson Pierce.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Power Company.
Yes.
Now, man, finally got his
Psycho really liked it. This was another page that we did a lot of work on. This last cool shot of him with the 3/4 view. Initially, the camera was right on him, but I'll say it. That was my initial idea, but this one of the many times where the artist is just like, yeah, I see that, but it's a little boring, so I'm going to make it better. So this was definitely one of those opportunities where he tweaked the angle and he made it look so much better than I had like asked for in the script. So
and shout out to FICO for getting the fade right. Not everybody can draw a fade.
He worked. It was important to him.
I'm looking at you, John Stewart. Nobody
it was funny too. We were doing like haircut tests when we were in the layout stage, and there was actually a version of this, and we were like, no, it's too John Stewart. No, we can't do that one. So
I hate the way John Stewart's hair is portrayed. Either give the man a short, just Caesar, or just a fro, but ain't nobody done John Stewart's fade right yet.
No, that's not true.
Name one artist that's done John Stewart's fade right.
Raza. You don't remember that cover?
Name one non-black artist that's done John Stewart's fade right.
I'm just saying.
Be specific with your question.
I'm just saying. I shouted Raza out. I said, shout out to him. He did the fade right. Yeah.
I like the lightning bolt, part in the hair. That's
That was all FICO. That was all him.
So the story is going to continue in the Power Company Recharge.
Yep.
Is Black Lightning going to be a part of that?
Derek, stop. Derek be playing too much. You be playing too much.
What happened?
Go back to the panel. Go back to the last panel. Look at the bottom. It says the story continues next month in the Power Company Recharge. But he got cut off because right below that it says, and I quote, "The House of Lightning will return."
That was my next question, man. Why you stealing my thunder, bro?
That was all me and Marquise.
Okay.
So Black Lightning, people have been asking in the chat. They've been saying volume 2. Is he indeed going to come back?
We don't know what shape his return is going to take yet. Like I said, I have a lot of ideas. DC has those ideas. So if they are ready to pull a trigger on a volume 2 or more stories, I am ready immediately on site. So we will find out in the coming weeks and months if and when we get to continue this part of their story. So for now, he is going to appear in the Power Company one-shot, which is written by Brian Hill. I think it's art by my brother, Kari Randolph of Excellence, and many other things. And I believe Aletha Martinez is also doing part of the one-shot too. So it'll be great art, be great writing by Brian Hill. And I shouldn't say too much because I haven't written it, but we'll just say that Black Lightning has a prominent role in the Power Company. I mean, I wrote the prologue, but like I said, I haven't read the actual one shot, so I don't want to make promises on Brian's story and then have people saying Brandon said that you were going to do this.
It sounds like we need to talk to Brian Hill, like in the first week of April on a Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But, I'm just projecting.
Yeah.
Paul, real quick, can I address the audience real quick for just a hot second?
Please.
And this is more or less directed to Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever YouTube, not YouTube, Facebook group. We have over 70,000 members. 76,000 members.
Not including BSF. It's more like 96.
So 76,000 members. If every member bought a Blacklightning comic book, Brandon wouldn't be speculating whether or not he would be writing another volume. It would be done. It would be on the way. I'm just putting it out there, y'all, because we act like we don't have spending power. We act like we don't have the numbers. We act, trust and believe. If everybody that's a member of this Facebook group bought one comic book, you're literally in the top 10 of books sales. Maybe even.
Yeah, even better than that. I'll do you one better. Even if half of the group bought Blacklightning, we would already be greenlit and heading toward issue 18 or whatever it is I've pitched to them. I don't want to say how many, but
and so I bring that up because we come to these parts of where a book ends or whatever. We don't know if it's going to get another volume or it's going to continue or whatever. And that's one of the frustrating things about what we do. The importance of us participating and supporting our characters, because the pushback we get is, well, they don't buy our books. We don't need them to buy our books. We just got to buy our books. So if you want a dope creator like Brandon Thomas to continue to do work, good work, make magic happen with FICO. I mean, it's not look, guys, I'm sorry, Paul, I got to say it.
Please say it, man. Break it down.
We have creative teams that, whether it's Christopher Claremont and Jim Lee or whomever, artists like McFarlane and whoever's writing with his book, those teams, they be on books for months, for years. And it's like, y'all don't want that same kind of...
Those people decide when they're leaving their books. They get to a point and they've said, I've had enough. I think I need to move on to other projects. I think I need to stretch in new directions creatively. We've never had an opportunity. Well, I don't want to say that we've never, but we seldom have the opportunity to decide when we're done. Other people get to decide when they're done. It's always decided for us when we're done.
So I just wanted to just say that to y'all. It's like, man, y'all go out and support, but we got to end this thing that we can't, attribute, or we can't participate in the success of our books, whatever. Because we always get this commentary, Brandon, that, oh, it got canceled, or it ended. Did you go out? Did you buy the book? That'd be our main question to everybody that's bitching. Did you buy the book?
Or more specifically, pre-order the book.
Yeah, that part. But, and then the other part is, well, I'm going to wait for the trade. Like, okay, that's cool too. The
trade will be coming soon.
Yeah. But, you may forget about the trade. You got to pre-order the trade, just like you pre-order the comic. Right. So you still got work to do. Yeah. And so I'm just bringing that up because, Joe Illich just finished up Shadow Cabinet, which was only 4 issues. And that probably should have been 6, if not 10.
I think they were a little oversized. I'm not sure about the page counts, but I think I feel like it was essentially almost the same length as this series, but in less issues. But yeah.
But I know he left meat on that bone. That's my point.
Yeah.
And so, I just want to encourage, the group and the collective to just bear in mind, man, we got the numbers.
Yeah.
We got the numbers. It's just the people got to.
We have to apply it. We have to use it.
We got the numbers. It's just like I'm like, you know. And again, I'm grateful to see my man in a comic book. It'd been years. It was like 6 years, Brandon, before Blacklightning had his own title again. That was frustrating.
Yeah.
As that being my favorite character, and you know, for me, I'm probably gonna read this story 2, 3, 4 more, 5 more times, just because I don't have, you know what I'm saying, a lot of
hopefully we can
different.
get some new stuff to you, so you don't.
And that's what I want. I want some new stuff or whatever. But we can't ask for new stuff if we're not willing to support what's available.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, Paul, we got work to do, bro. We got work to do, because I want Brandon to be able to one day. Hey, I've been writing this book for 2 years. I think I'm ready to do something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to diversify my portfolio.
Right.
Well, you know,
I'm ready to pass the torch to someone else, and to do it in a way where the book is not ending. I'm just going off to do something else, and somebody is coming behind me, and then you know.
Yeah. So you know, that's what we need. Yeah. Shout out to Accused. Cutthroat says, tell your local comic store you want to pre-order whatever book you want to support. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I just don't, you know, the thing is, there's so much more. I know you got so much more that you want to, story that you want to tell. And I don't want to, you know, belabor the point, but I just know that I finished this issue and I wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just thought like, oh man, I mean, I'm glad it ended great. You know, but you know how it is when you edit a comic book. There's nothing more delightful than reading a comic, enjoying it, and then be like, okay, what's next?
Yep.
Yeah. So
what's gonna happen next? So
this is what's next.
This is what's next.
Is the cover on the left? Is that the team for the DC Power Recharged?
Yes.
Oh, that's a dope team, man. My favorite, one of my favorite DC characters, Vixen on the squad. We just had
the signal.
I was about to say we just had this book with Ray Anthony Height and Vita Ayala. Shout out to them for putting Jace Fox and Duke Thomas together. It's the dynamic duo I did not know I needed in my life. It had not made. I'm surprised it had not crossed my mind that they make such a great pair together. Great to have them on the squad. Have Blacklightning on the team again, outside of the Outsiders, and bringing back Josiah Power, who is quite frankly one of the most powerful DC characters in the DC universe.
He is.
So I don't know why it's taken 20 years to bring this brother back. But the shout out to the whole DC team, Marquise Draper, for pulling him off the shelf, dusting him off, and sticking him back into a role of relevance. So that's
man. I want that cover on the far end. That's amazing.
I forget who that is. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's
like Mosaica.
I'm not sure.
It was a strange name.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
That's
it's not
pretty
Ryan
good.
Benjamin, right?
That's the Stanford Green cover is the one on the second one.
The ID
Edwin Gallman is the first cover.
Yes.
I don't remember who the third and
is that Paris?
Paris Allen in the third one?
Maybe,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't quote.
Is that just a regular that just a regular cover? Right, a ratio.
Oh, I don't know.
The one on the far right is a ratio, I believe.
Okay. I was like, it looks like it's probably a ratio. So it'll be a little rare.
It means it's gonna be a little bit of money.
Okay,
Dr.
it is Ryan Benjamin.
Dr. Wizard says that's Ryan Benjamin on the far right.
Man.
Yeah, great cover by him.
I'm gonna have to email him. I mean, not email. I'm gonna have to at him on Instagram. Hey, bro.
You gonna try to get the original?
I need that at regular price. I need that at regular price.
Yeah,
$20.
All right, so you wrote another little book
Hey, old friend.
Some people might have heard of.
Spencer Dale.
I can't bring you on and not ask for a status update.
Yeah.
Excellence.
There is actually a little status to report. Well,
hold up.
I can report, and then there's a part that I can't.
Hold on. Before we.
This is a Black Comic Lords exclusive.
Dr.
I hope the news was worth that 5 seconds.
I don't know if it was all breaking news, but I am writing Excellence. Well, I am writing volume 3 of Excellence right now.
Okay. That's what's up.
I don't believe it unless I see the script. Pull the script out and show it to us right now.
That's
all right. I will I will copy a panel and I will put it in the chat so that you can see it. But I have to find a panel that's not too spoilery.
So you and Kari is continuing the saga.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, we are. So I don't know if I said this before, but basically I wrote issues 13 to 16 a while ago. And when I say a while ago, I mean, a while ago, like years ago. I wrote 13 through 16. And now that I've gone back to it, it is no longer viable.
Gotcha.
So I'm going back through scripts that I have already written and basically rewriting them to kind of come up to like my current standard, because it was several years ago and I'm like, oh, I'm so much better now. So I'm going back through 13 and 16 and kind of, I'm supposed to be doing like light edits, but I'm not. I'm actually just kind of rewriting all of them. And then I will write 17 and 18, and then we will be done with this particular Excellence story. So, no, it's actually a very good week to ask. So I'm actually like deep. I'm deep back into the world of Excellence. So it feels great to be back in it. And what I can't tell you about is there is also movement happening in other mediums.
Okay, that's what's up.
So you put the panel from your book, your script, in our private chat.
Yes.
I'm gonna put
Worldwide Comics says I need to check out Excellence. Go get a late pass, bro.
I'm gonna paste what he put into the main chat right now.
Go get a late pass, Worldwide Comics.
I put it in.
Excellence is one of the best independent stories ever.
All right, so I just
will not be disappointed.
Only those who are in the chat can see what he posted. All right. What about other mediums, a TV or a movie? From Charles Stewart III. Shout out to Charles Stewart.
One of those.
Yeah. keep it vague. Keep it vague. Keep it real vague.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to get nobody in no trouble.
One of those.
Let's jump before we get into our giveaways. Let's jump it. People have asked a lot of good questions.
Okay.
Let's go into our.
I'll try to be quick and not my usual long-winded self. Oh, someone's asked. Okay, should I be reading these off the board or?
Yeah, you can read right off the screen there. Can we get Can we get you on a steel book?
Not a book, but I do have a story coming up. I don't know if I can say what it's in, but
of course you can say it's not Comic Lords. No one's going to find out.
It's being illustrated right now. So I have done something else with both steels in it, which is being illustrated right now.
That's what's up.
So just a little something, but it's super, super cool. And
can you tell us who the artist is?
No, I can't, but it is being illustrated by an artist that did a variant cover for Excellence. So I can narrow it down a little bit.
All right, fair enough. What is Isaac Mitchell's role in Black Lightning's Mythos Down? What are his powers? Yeah, we still don't know what his powers are.
Well, I mean, I know what his powers are, but his powers are essentially kinetic absorption. So hopefully we'll see more of him. He's essentially kind of a like a trainee. He is someone that that if I have the opportunity to do more stories with the Pierce family, he'll be heavily involved. So think of him as like a play cousin that we're kind of introducing for the Pierce family. So if I get to do more, you will see more of him, and hopefully he'll be another younger powered character that someone else might want to pick up for something in the future too.
For those who have not done so already, please hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to the Black Comic Lords YouTube channel so that you'll also be entered into our giveaway we're going to have in a few moments. Next question, Dr. Wizard.
What else we got?
This might be a question. Whoa, it's gone.
I lost it.
Have you ever thought of bringing Gamby back in the book?
We actually talked about bringing Gamby back, so maybe.
Okay.
That's something that we could definitely get to.
Does Brandon have any events lined up, any Comic-Cons or signings that you go into?
Not currently, but I am going to get back on the con circuit this year. I'll probably be doing New York. I don't know about San Diego, and then I'll also be doing the Denver show because that's local for me. So stay tuned. I'll make sure you're subscribed to my Twitter and my Blue Sky, which I'm kind of migrating.
Any plans for Power Company work from you?
Maybe.
Okay.
Depending on how the one shot does. We shall see. There are a lot of possibilities and contingencies for what happens next with the Power Company.
We really need to talk to Brian Edward Hill in the first or second week of April at 9 p.m.
Yeah, he can tell you all about that.
If only that was possible. If only that was possible. But we're only Black Comic Lords. Cutthroat Comics asks, Brandon, did you like the CW version of the Black Lightning?
Yes. I loved a lot of the CW shows. I think they're very underappreciated overall. I think making those type of shows on TV budgets is damn near impossible. So I'm very impressed with the work that they did overall. And this is another one of my little pet peeves. Seeing these characters, with movies and TV shows, it's essentially when I started following comics, it was all I ever wanted. All I wanted was comics, movies, and TV shows and more Star Wars. And I've gotten both of those things. So the fact that there are so many people out there that really kind of disparage or complain or, harshly critique these things is kind of one of my things. But I mean, I always forget the main actor who actually played Jefferson. Is it? I always want to call him Chris Allen, even though he's not Chris Allen. Yeah, but in my head, he was always kind of like Chris Allen too, from the Batman books.
Right.
But I've been a big fan of his since the 90s. So it was good to see him get to play a superhero.
Sidebar: is there a physical, super, and or overpowered, crazy built Black comic book character not named Blue Marvel? Sure. I mean, that's not really relevant to this discussion because that's a Marvel book. But what's the name of that blue and red costumed big bulky dude Herschel always likes to post? His name is Marvelous or something like that. Mega Man, Mega Power, Magnum dude.
Oh, you talking about that was in the
he was in Eternals or something like that.
You know, not Fastos.
No, not Fastos.
Press, yes.
Not
Maxim. You talking about Maxim?
That dude.
Maxim, yeah.
That's that character. Chris Williams. All right. So that's all the questions we have for now.
Okay.
Brandon, our Dr. Wizard says that you did your initiation to the Black Comic Lords, but we had a glitch.
Oh, I thought I did too.
You did.
Both of them got
So
glitched.
you've got to redo it before we do this giveaway. Before I forget, I tend to forget these things. So I'm gonna take us off the screen. You need to look at the camera, say your name, be suave, and say, "I am a Black Comic Lord."
Don't mess around, is what you're saying. I'm Brandon Thomas, writer, creator, and I am a Black Comics Lord.
There it is. There it is. All right. So we have a giveaway. Dr. Wizard, you can come on the screen if you want. Go ahead and set that up for us. In order for all of you to be entered into the freak, Brandon, you have some books you want to show people to see what you're going to be giving away?
I don't have them all with me, but I do have a copy of Blacklightning issue 5. The giveaway is going to be every issue of the Blacklightning series, every cover that I still have my hands on, which is 97% of them. So that will be the giveaway. Every issue of the Blacklightning series signed up, and probably some cool bags and boards in there too. So
are Black Comic Lords eligible for this giveaway?
No.
I'm tired of our fans getting more stuff than we do.
No family members.
No family members.
No family members and close associates.
Wow. All right. Well, that's all right. It's a struggle that we live.
Here, man.
All right. But the criteria for y'all to be eligible to get all this, I mean, I'm surprised you even getting this. Quite honestly, I'm a little jealous and slightly pissed off. But the criteria for getting into this enter into this giveaway is you have to like this video, share this video off of a social media, and be subscribed to the Black Comic Lords channel, YouTube channel. All three of those. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the Black Comic Lords channel. That is I'll give you 15 seconds to do all three of those things.
I thought you were going to say 15 minutes. Okay.
15 seconds to go ahead, like this video, share it on your social media, subscribe to the Black Comic Lords channel. You'll be entered into the giveaway. What should we have them say in the giveaway?
Well, here's the thing about that, Paul. You got to make sure you hashtag BLFAM in the chat.
Dr. Wizard says hashtag BLFAM in the chat. So go ahead and do that now. If you have not done the 3 criteria I've given you and your name comes up as a winner, you will be ineligible and I will get it all and I will not even.
Sounds like you're trying to trip people up now.
I'm not trying to trip people up. I'm giving you clear criteria. If you cannot follow the instructions, you will be nullified from the drawing and I will keep it all for myself. Because y'all are getting more stuff than I get, and I'm not happy about that. Lucky I like y'all. All right. How we got enough people here? How many people? Let's give it a few more seconds.
Okay.
Hashtag BLFAM. Like the video, share it over your social media, and be subscribed to the Black Comic Lords YouTube channel. And put in hashtag BLFAM. What does BLFAM stands for anyway?
Black Lightning Family.
Black Lightning Family. All right. Wait, was that Derek's voice?
That would be Mr. Producer.
That's our producer, everybody, Dr. Wizard. He's the one who actually runs everything and says, Richard and Paul, show up, do this stuff, do what I tell you, and I'll try not to make you look bad. He actually runs the Black Comic Lords.
All right, so I see 12 entries right now. If anybody else wants to join, wants an opportunity. Brandon, did you say every single variant?
I said every variant.
Every variant signed.
No, I don't even have every variant, man.
Every variant signed by you.
Let me come up with a pseudonym. Let me come up with I had to come up with a backup name.
This might be the biggest giveaway we've had. Like,
Oh,
this is
yeah?
impressive to get every. I
I
think
have
to
to
get every
count them
variant
up, but
signed.
it has to be about 20 books. Probably. I think we had 4 variants for the first issue. So yeah, it's up there.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a giveaway of every variant of a series.
I'll make sure to take
signed.
pictures and stuff before I send it out. We'll talk about that later, the logistics.
And will each one be signed by you too?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
This
Come
is just not fair. Y'all, do y'all even deserve this?
Of course they deserve it.
There's a question. You answer this one, Paul.
Why do they call him Dr. Wizard? Why do we call him Dr. Wizard? I call Derek Dr. Wizard because he's the one that makes the magic happen with surgical precision. He makes the magic happen with surgical precision. That's why he is Dr. Wizard. His other nickname is the Imperious Flex because he loves to flex on me with all the dope stuff that he owns. And he likes to pretend like he does not do it. And he is the most awful, terrible person when it comes to flexing on a book.
Yeah, that might happen a little bit, Paul. That might happen a little bit.
A little bit. All right.
Yeah, Paul, is there any type of disclaimer you might want to make about shipping for out of the country?
Oh, yes. If you are from the non-50 state contiguous United States, if you are from a country outside of the United States of America or the Gulf of America, as our guy in the White House says, you will have to pay your own shipping. You can win, but you have to pay your own shipping if you're outside the United States. We'd be happy to still give it to you, but you have to pay your own shipping. It's still a great deal. You're getting all the issues signed by Brandon Thomas.
Yep.
I don't even get that. If you complain, I'll be happy to take the books from you. I'm still bitter about that.
You must don't know how much shipping costs.
Okay. I think we need to go and do this, but I'm just gonna say it looks like we have 51.
Go ahead, run it back.
We have 51 people in the chat, and I only see 12 entries.
Only 12? Look, there's 52 people watching us, and only 12 people watching us. These are
good odds.
Signed comic books, the entire Blacklightning run, and only 12 people. Man, this lets me know I should be taking this.
It's better odds.
All right.
You got a good chance.
Okay, with that said, are we ready to go?
Run it back, man. Run it back.
All right, here we go. Good luck, everybody.
May the odds forever be in your favor. I'll laugh at Black Comic Lords wins. Kevin Pitts.
Congratulations, Kevin.
Kevin Pitts, been a loyal watcher. Appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you for being in the mix. Email your information to blackcomiclords@gmail.com and you will be sent the books. All right? Email us your name and address in case Kevin Pitts is an alias, your mailing address and your name, and we will send you the books to you.
And we will
as long as you live in the United States. All right. Shout out to Thomas.
There we go. It's been fun, fellas. I appreciate you. And I'll let you know when the trade is coming out. So I don't know if you would like to have me back for that, but we talk about that later. And
yes, of course.
There are some other things brewing that hopefully we will have to talk more at length about. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys for having me out every single month to talk over this great series. I had a lot of fun doing it, a lot of fun talking about it, even though I'm talking a little too long all the time. But that's just
good.
I've gotten used to it at this point. I guess there's nothing that can be done now. I'm old, and it's just a thing. But I appreciate your support, your advocacy, and we'll talk soon. I'll be back soon with something else.
Yep.
You're welcome anytime.
That needs to be discussed.
Absolutely.
You are welcome anytime, brother. Anytime.
Thank you.
All right. So look, everybody in the chat who's watching this, anyone who's watching this video, thank you for being with us, spending your time with us. Thank you for the love for Brandon Thomas and all the work that he's doing. Check out our other videos on our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of dope content, a lot of great interviews. Make sure you pre-order these comics to support these artists and the characters that you want to see in these books. It is a vote when you pre-order the comics. Don't just show up on Wednesday and say, hey, I went to my LCS and bought this book off the shelf and post it up and say you've done a service that doesn't really help. Pre-ordering the books ahead of time is how you keep these books to keep going, how you get these creators to keep working and giving you the stories that you want to see. So, anything else from you guys? Rich, Dr. Wizard?
We'll see you guys when we see you.
All right. Black Comic Lords, we got you.